What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a few different altcoins today. Actually, we'll be talking about 5. Bonk, LTC, BCH, Compound, and XLM. Bonk at the request of Sabir, LTC and BCH at the request of Dr. Axer or Draxer, I'm not sure. Compound for Disney is Greedy, and XLM, Stellar Lumens for James Thomas. This is for you guys, so buckle up. We're going to get started real quick here. So again, in that order, we're going to go Bonk, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Compound, Stellar Lumens. Looking at Bonk here, yes, I do think it goes down. What did you do? You started your move down. You had a bull trap or just standard volatility, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if that's so much a bull trap as it is just like a correction, a bit of consolidation, whatever, like a relief rally, whatever you want to call it. Moved down, came back up, nothing moves in a straight line. Standard volatility is what I would call it. And now you're moving lower. And yes, you will probably go below this. And look at that, man, classic. On a strong move up, on a strong move down, whatever, on your fibs, it's very common, especially on strong moves, okay, to find significance at your 382 and reject it or find support if it's going up, and here you are rejecting it, here you are down here. I think you go lower. What this tends to mean is that you're probably going to see an extension based off of this move. And the extension would take you anywhere from about a minimum expectation would be 509127 to 50786 or 7806, somewhere in that range. You could go lower. It's absolutely possible, and I do potentially think that you will go lower over time. But lower, nonetheless, is what I think is going on with this thing for the time being, right? Probably for months to come, man. 382 over here, again, talking about strong moves up. The 382 right here is literally at 50382. That's kind of a huge coincidence right there. It's kind of cool. So you probably do move down there, inevitably. You have a lot more to go. But will it happen all at once? Will it happen in 1 week? No. It'll probably take its time. It'll probably take multiple months to get down there. And if it does happen all at once, then maybe you have lower to go, or maybe you move down, flash crash, and then consolidate, something like that. But yeah, the RSI on the weekly doesn't look too friendly. Daily RSI doesn't look good. 4-hour RSI doesn't look good either. Yes, you have higher highs in your RSI, but what you have in your price is notable lower highs. It's hidden bearish divergence. You get this in downtrends a lot. Think of it like you're working harder to get less value, less results, right? Lower price results. So it's not a good thing, right? And you wanted to know the expected highs, Sabir. I can tell you, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. And that's not like an obvious answer, right? That's not like well, obviously I don't know. That's not what I mean. I just mean like it's too new. It's actually way too new for me to have any kind of concise prediction on that. If we found our low already on here, I'd be able to take a fib here to the low and then get an accurate idea, or a more or less accurate idea of what a potentially accurate idea, I should say, of where you could go. I don't feel comfortable taking this fib. It's from like the very first week. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Early days, it's not as reliable in my opinion. Bonk market cap is at 644 million right now. If it was to see a 10x, that'd be 6.4 billion. If it was to see a 100x, that's 64 billion. I would say that from the current price, is it possible for Bonk to see a 100x in price growth? Yeah, I think it is possible, especially as like a top meme coin that a lot of people have captured interest in, stuff like that. Like it could see another 100x. It could. Will it? I'm not so certain. Dogecoin itself is the top meme coin, right? It's the daddy meme coin out of like all the meme coins. And it didn't see those kind of numbers until years of being in existence. This thing came into existence literally like about a year ago. So will it see a $64 billion market cap? Maybe. Will it see like a $10 to a $20 billion market cap? Maybe even less than a $10 billion market cap? Probably is what I'm thinking. So I would keep it more in mind of like a 10 to 20, maybe a 30x is possible from the current price. Now though, looking at it, right, again, one more time, from the 382 to where that would be, let's say it does a 10x from here. Let's be conservative, okay? A 10x would be about, actually right there. Well, that's a little bit more than a 10. That's a 10.2x, but yes, it says 923, but that's a 10x. 100% is a 2x. So what's 2 plus 8 That's a 10, right? 10 x's. Okay, so if 100 is 2, then plus 8 would be 900, right? From 382, if that math didn't make sense, get off the weed, man. 382 to that same price, that is a 27x, right? And that's the minimum expectation, in my opinion, is a 10x from here. So if you play this right, you can snag extra gains by buying on the way down and stuff like that. And if it were to go to, let's say it went to a 20x, it did that. Something like that right there. It's a little bit over a 20x again. But then you're talking about a 57x. So are there gains to be made in this thing over the bull market cycle? Absolutely, I believe so. But will it probably meander its way down? With stuff like this, man, I see it time and time again. You move up so fast, you captivate everybody's attention up here, and then it's going to be boring, bro. It's going to be super boring on the way down. It's going to take literally until June or until August or until later to get down to these levels. You'll probably move down there, consolidate for a solid bit. All these other coins that you had your eyes on, but you sold them all to put them into this coin at the top, they're going to be pumping while this thing's being boring, and then you're going to be like, crap, I should sell this for the coins that are pumping. Don't do that. If you want to buy this, you have the conviction to buy this. Hold through it. Don't buy coins that already pumped. Don't do that. You want to buy things that have yet to pump, and then sit on it. Be patient, because your time will come. But all that to say, I don't know if Bonk will actually look like this. I don't know how it's going to move down. It might flash crash and then bonk. Who knows? I really don't know. But that's just my genuine interpretation, and my experience with these things is that with a movement like this, you take the elevator up, you're going to take the stairs down. You're going to take the stairs down. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. It's going to be very boring. There will be other cryptos that go up while this thing's moving down and consolidating still, just as while there were other cryptos that were going down and consolidating, this thing move up. They all take their turn. And right now it's Bonk's turn to just consolidate. So, yes, money to be made by the end of the cycle, I think so. Here, sure, but lower, definitely. So lower, nonetheless, is where I think it's going to go. I hope that helps. LTC, we're talking about Litecoin now. You wanted to know the same thing, right? The potential highs for Litecoin. Let's see here. Hold on. I got to do something real quick. Just got to make sure I don't forget to do this one, because I almost forgot to do that one. Don't worry about it. On a monthly basis, I don't need to look at it on a monthly basis. Weekly here, about 5 days left in the week. Looks like you're rejecting this 50 area. Not a friendly look. The RSI on the weekly doesn't look too good. Yes, I do think that the price is going to go lower. Will it go below $50? I'd be surprised if it did, but around $50, I think so. I really do think so. I don't think you take out these lows. I do think you take out these lows. And if we take this low to this high, 1272, 1414, that white line right there splits it. So below $50, probably not, but a little bit around it probably is what I'm thinking, genuinely speaking. And that will also probably take time. I doubt it just drops ass right down there. But overall, for the expected highs with Litecoin, because it is such an OG coin, man, it's been around for a very long time. It's been around since longer than 2016, actually. I think it's been around since 2013. Let's look it up. Litecoin founded, I don't know, 2011. I was wrong. It's actually 2011. So 5 years before this chart. But just because it was founded didn't mean it was available for trading yet. Maybe it was. I don't know. But here you are at your 382. I doubt you see that 236, though. You could, even if you went below 50, it's okay. You could go to 46 and it's still fine. You're still above that low there. But I wouldn't expect that you go below these little lows here. But nonetheless, the minimum extension would be at $934. The maximum is at $2,586. And this is actually a personal target that I think Litecoin will achieve. I do think that it will see those highs. Yes, I do. Yes, I know that's crazy. I know Litecoin's been a bit of a laggard. It's been stagnant for a while, but it's more or less been consolidating. There is still interest in this thing. There's a lot of volume put into it. It is still a top dog in the crypto space, and it's formed higher lows throughout multiple cycles. That's more than I can say for most cryptos out there. They would be fortunate to be in Litecoin circumstances. So I think as this is the market right now. This is the cycle where institutional money's coming in. They're not going to put their money in the brand new coin that could do this. They're not going to put it in the old coin that's just been going down. They're going to put it in the coins that have been around since 2011 and have only maintained higher lows. Yes, it had lower high, technically a flush high right there. I mean, from a chart perspective, you guys, let's say it doesn't see new all-time highs. I know, that'd be so tragic, so terrible, but let's say it doesn't, okay? And you hold this trajectory, and you have this flat top here. I kind of curved it, but you see what I'm going for, right? Like, that is not bearish structure. That really is not. This is like you're winding up, you're consolidating, and if it doesn't happen this cycle, it'll happen next cycle, and this thing will pop magnificently. But I do think that it will move up this cycle. I think, again, that there's institutional money involved, and I think that they're going to look to put money in Bitcoin and also disperse, because they don't just put all their money in one thing, right? They like to spread out across multiple assets. Well, if we're in crypto, this asset class we call crypto, are you going to put your money in the brand new coins or the old coins that have proven themselves to be stable and secure and decentralized? And they're at low prices and they haven't taken off yet. You know, that's, in my personal opinion, I would think that they would get into this thing, and I would think that that kind of money could send the price is up to $934 to $2,586, or even beyond that, man. This thing, I think, deserves a multi-$100 billion market cap. No, it's not the best crypto in the world, but it's absolutely not the worst, and it has performed better than 90+% cryptos, which really isn't saying much, but it has. And I think that will stand out in itself, man. And Litecoin's good, you know. I think it's a decent coin. I'm probably not going to invest in it personally because I think there are more gains to be made other places, but nonetheless, I do think 934, 2,586, I would put a heavy emphasis on this number, genuinely. I don't think you will stop here. I would think at a minimum, really, you would stop here. But to be fair, this right here, that 1272, is the minimum expected zone. So anywhere from 934 to 2,586, that's the last time I'll say it. Let's move on to Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, shout out to the Dragon Rider, shout out to the House of the Dragon. I think that's a TV show. I just saw that on HBO Max, I think, or maybe it was on Peacock. You guys, Peacock is great. If you don't have Peacock, like, it's way cheaper than anything else, and it's better. You've got the NFL on there, man. They literally had like 2 playoff games. Anyways, 382 resistance, 236 support, 382 resistance still. Bitcoin Cash. You guys know what I think about this thing, man. Same old, same old. I think it's going down. I do think it's going down. I think that we will probably see prices not below this low here, but around $200. Below 210, above 195, somewhere in that area. That's my genuine expectation. But you didn't want to know that, did you, Dr. Axer? You wanted to know the potential highs that I have in store for this thing. Well, from this relative high to relative low, the last bull market high to the last bear cycle low, the minimum extension would be at 3,650. The maximum kind of expected extension would be right at 10,000. That's a psychological number that could make sense in itself. If we take the all-time high to the all-time low, and yes, this is multiple cycles now in the past. Come on, if I can get it. It is still the technical high and all-time low, all-time high, all-time low. So I think that is significant in its own respects. The 1886 of this relative fib, the relative cycles fib extensions, and the 1414 of the all-time high, all-time low, they line up perfectly at $22,000, and that's where I think Bitcoin Cash is going. You know, to do a little bit of explanations, you've made it this far. If you don't understand fibs already, that's okay. You know, the Fibonacci sequence, fibs, as we call them in a shorter form, they're just numbers that reoccur naturally in the universe. They're not just like some phooey nonsense numbers. The Fibonacci sequence is a real thing. It's a real like mathematical thing, and it's something that, you know, these numbers themselves are based off of ratios to that Fibonacci sequence. We see these things throughout life. Like the Fibonacci, the golden ratio itself is the 618, and we get that through the Fibonacci sequence itself. You guys know it's like 0, 1. 1 plus 0 is 1, so then 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So like that's the sequence. That's how it goes. Like it's just like that, right? Fibonacci sequence. You can look this up yourselves, but and you get the spiral, right? You see it just like that, right there. Yeah, 0 plus 1 equals 1. That's your next number. Then 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 4. Like that's how it goes. It's the Fibonacci sequence, and that's, you get these Fibonacci spirals, whatever. You see these patterns all across the universe. You see them in flowers, in galaxies, in seashells, in plants, in psychology. It affects us. So all I'm trying to say is you have 2 of those levels. the 1886, which is considered a deep extension, and the 1414, which is considered to be in the expected range from my personal experience. That's not something you'll find reading Fibonacci stuff. That's just based off of what I've personally identified in my time trading for about 7 years now. I think that level, those levels lining up just like that, gives me a lot of hope and faith that Bitcoin Cash will achieve prices above $22,000. And I can go into a whole list of reasons why I think that is too. I'm not going to get into it though. In short, Bitcoin itself, which Bitcoin Cash is the better Bitcoin. It's not the more popular Bitcoin. It will probably, I know I'm blasphemous to the Dragon Riders out there, some of you who are more faithful to Bitcoin Cash. I don't think Bitcoin Cash will ever overtake Bitcoin, but I do think that Bitcoin Cash will only gain value against Bitcoin from here on out, And I know that might not make sense. Eventually, I do think that it will give Bitcoin a run for its money. I think right now, there's people who think Ethereum's giving it a run for its money, Solana, my XRP, whatever, will flip it. I don't think any of those coins will. But if there was a coin that could, it would probably be Bitcoin Cash, in my opinion. It would be the better alter ego of Bitcoin. But I don't know if it does. I personally don't know if it does. It would have to gain more popularity than Bitcoin. And let's just face it, man, Bitcoin is the most popular coin. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying in my lifetime, I don't personally expect it to happen. But open-minded enough to accept it as a possibility, absolutely. But what I do believe is that Bitcoin itself spent less time at these price levels that Bitcoin Cash has been in literally since 2018. It spent a whole lot less time than multiple years at these price levels. And it ran up to 20K, okay? Like we go to Bitcoin, man, I said I wasn't going to do it, but we're going to do it right now. USD. That might not be the right one. Here you were at your lowest, 168, 165, whatever. At your highest down here in this accumulation range, 310, right, where we just kind of recently topped off. You were in this range from January of 2015 until roughly October of 2015, less than a year. And during this accumulation phase, that accumulation period, you moved all the way up to $20,000. Can Bitcoin Cash, the better Bitcoin, through and through, other than popularity, there's arguments on decentralization, but it's more affordable. Quite literally, it's more affordable right now at a cheaper price to buy, but it's more efficient at doing transactions. It's more suitable as far as peer-to-peer transactions go. It's faster. The technology is just better, and I mean, as far as security goes, I don't know. I think they're both secure, but as far as popularity goes, it's definitely not as popular as Bitcoin Cash or as Bitcoin is, but it is infamous. And infamy in this space can also do great things for you. Nobody wants to see Bitcoin Cash succeed, and that's why I think it will succeed. And I say nobody. Obviously, the people watching this want to see it succeed. I want to see it succeed. But staying at a grounded level here, I know a lot of you make comments saying, and they're not bad comments. I don't take it personally, but just I read them. I do read them, and you're like, I don't know about 20,000. To me, that doesn't seem ridiculous. You know what? Ridiculous to me is 50,000, and that is even possible. That is in the expected range. Maybe it happens. Genuinely speaking, guys, maybe if Bitcoin BTC hits 500K or 400 and something K this cycle, why can't Bitcoin Cash hit 51K? You know what I mean? Why can't that happen? I think it absolutely could happen, but maybe it doesn't. I actually want to go, man, I'm talking so much about this right now. Where I expect it to go is at a minimum really of 13K, minimum. Technical minimum, I guess 10K, but I think it'll go above that. I think 13K, probably around 22, 23K. That's what I'm thinking. Probably a little bit above that is what I'm thinking. But if we go BCH, BTC real quick, I'm spending way too much time on this, but we're gonna do it. If Bitcoin was worth 460,000 to 500,000, that's my kind of price targets for Bitcoin BTC by the end of this cycle. If Bitcoin Cash were to be 10% of that, 10% on this right here would be all the way up here, okay? Could it go up there? Could it go up there this cycle? I know it's been going down, guys. I know it has, but it's doing different things than it has throughout this whole cycle, right? Come on now, if I can get it. From that low to that high there, you bounced. You actually had a lingering double bottom almost right off your 1618. You wicked below, but you closed. I'll zoom in. I wasn't going to, but I will. You literally closed right at your 618, and you bounced right off of it, all the way up to your 886, came back down to your 1414. You didn't go deeper. You're finding constructive like price action going on this. Like, it looks really, really good, man. By the time that you go up from here, what you're looking to do, in my opinion, is now you're going to see extensions off of this move from high to low. If you can get above the 618, which is all the way up here at about 1.3% of a Bitcoin, okay? By the way, 1.3%, if Bitcoin's worth 400,000, 1.3% would be, what, like 5,000? Something like that. A little bit like that, right? And I definitely think that we're going to see greater than that. So if we see greater than that, top to bottom, again, if we break above this 618, and I do think we will, in this cycle, likely what we're going to see is extensions of this top to bottom here. And that minimum takes us to 5% to just over 10%, the 1618. Is it possible to see this? Absolutely it is. Is it different? Would that be characteristically unlike this chart to do that? Absolutely it is. But man, we're doing different things than we've done before. We found a very significant bottom off of the most significant move we had before this. We got the strongest reading for BCH versus BTC that we've ever seen on this chart ever. It's the only time that we've actually maintained levels above this 123, and that's not fair to say because it didn't exist back here, but I think if we could imagine this line going back, you were nowhere near it. You know, if there was a way to do it, you're nowhere near it. Here you got it, you tipped it, but here you're actually flirting with it. You're doing things differently is all I'm trying to say. In fact, I mean, if things continue to grow, we're not there yet, but we might be facing the longest period that we've been outside of the oversold zone. Definitely the deepest that we've been in the overbought zone. But man, I detest. I should have just made a Bitcoin Cash video if I was going to go here, but I didn't expect I would. You were having me talk about expected highs for the cycle, and this is where we got. So that's Bitcoin Cash. Let's move on to Compound now. Compound. I do think Bitcoin Cash has a very solid chance of going not just to 20K, but higher. I don't know if it goes all the way to 51K, man. I'm just saying I accept it as a possibility. Don't be surprised. Maybe be surprised, but don't think of it as an impossibility. Compound. Yes, it is holding up well. Yes, it is. Disney is greedy. I do think it is holding up well. You know, I've been saying for so long now, guys. If you've been watching the channel, man, you know, Compound has been one of the more boring ones, man. It's the same TA here as it was back here in November. Really, like even as it was like back here, like nothing exciting. We're still in this accumulation phase. We will be out of this accumulation phase, I think, when we see a week close above $63. And at that point, we're still not even out of the woods yet. We need to get multiple weeks, technically, or some form of confirmation. We break above it, test it back for support, get a nice bounce. Something like that, I would think, would stand to bring us higher and bring us out of this. But if we look at this for what it is, just the chart itself, right? Came down. Nice accumulation phase. You're definitely in an accumulation phase right now. Could you move lower? Absolutely. Will you be fine? Absolutely. By the time that you do break this, it's going to be phenomenal. It really is. I think you're going to probably find turbulence somewhere between like these lows here or these highs here, something like that. And that's anywhere from about 536 to 270, somewhere in there. But I think you're going to make a very quick move to that range nonetheless. When it's time to break out, will that happen this week? Will that happen in the second week of June? I don't know. As long as we're in this accumulation phase, we're range bound. And yes, Compound has been boring. It's been holding up well while other things have been going down more. That doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean that it's ready to move up just yet. The RSI is very neutral. It's very hard to like decipher as to where we're going to go. We have some lower highs here. We have higher lows. I do expect Compound to go below $50. I've been saying that. We technically did go below $50 here, but I think that we do have a little bit lower to go. If we go below these lows, it's not the end of the world. If we go below these lows, it's not the end of the world, though I think we don't go below these lows. I think that we do go below these ones. We probably don't even go below that one. I would think we go from anywhere from about $40 to $48, something like that, just a little bit lower or a little bit more substantial, but maybe we find support right at $42, $41, something like that, but I think that we do have lower to go. And in fact, generally speaking, before you break out of an accumulation range, you get a nice dump right before you pump, right? Just like here, before we dumped hard, right? We consolidated, we had a nice little pump, and then we dumped, right? you're about to continue your next leg down. You had 1 week before that pumped 22%, and that's what was the catalyst to send you down, right? So we probably will see a little bit of a dumperoo, and then we'll pump-a-roo. That's compound. I don't think it's time yet. In the coming months, probably. I do think before the halving we will see this thing break out, but who knows, man? I really don't know how long this thing can maintain its range. It's gone on longer than I've already expected it to, but I have very high hopes for compound. This wasn't requested as far as like the expected highs go. Let me see. Oh, there we go, man. I'm sorry. My neck was killing me, man. I had to do that. But I think that this thing could go to $8,800. And yes, it's worth $52 right now, just under that. But you have $8,200 at your 1618 there. I don't know why I said 8,800. Oh, because you're like actual all-time low. Yeah, there you go, 8,800. Maybe that's the wrong low to take though. I don't know, because that's kind of like a fake out. Maybe 8,200. Nonetheless, ridiculous, crazy, I know, but the math checks out. You want me to do it real quick? We'll do it real quick. We did it for Bitcoin Cash. We're going to do it for compound. Compound here, $355 million market cap, 355 mil. A 100x, just to put it in like easy terms real quick, 100x would essentially be right there at about $5,178. Okay, 100x from 355 million would be a $35 billion market cap. Is that achievable? Yes. Is it possible? Yes, of course. But is it achievable? Absolutely it is. Is double that achievable? A $70 billion market cap for something like this? I think it is, man. I really think it is. This thing has interest from a lot of big accounts, a lot of people. Look at all the money that's come in on this accumulation phase right here. It looks like, man, people are scooping it up, getting ready, because whenever it takes off, it's not coming back. Again, if it could see 100x, if it could double that and see a 200x, that would take you around like $10,000. So could it see this 1618? Absolutely. If it doesn't do that, minimum expectation would be 2,400. Then you've got one right there at around 4,000, maybe somewhere in between. You don't have to hit these lines specifically, but just giving validity to the idea that, yes, absolutely, it sounds crazy, but it can go all the way up that high. Cryptos do that. Dude, I bought Dogecoin below a cent, and it went almost to, it literally pulled 100x by the time I bought it, and it already, it was already up phenomenally from there, right? Like, I'm jumping all over the board here, man, but let's just do it real quick, right? Where, oh, did they take it down? Oh, there it is, finally. Okay. Like, I bought Dogecoin here, like literally the week before it pumped up, and it already pumped so much. It already pumped 400-something percent, 200%, right? But I bought it there, and it did like more than 100x. I did not sell up here. No. I sold a lot lower, but I still made decent gains. Even if you sold here, you'd still be making decent gains. But that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is these things happen in crypto. It does happen, and it happens all the time, man. So I'm just saying, something like this that has the support and the attention that Compound does, and to me it just sounds like a legit project, man. Look more into it for yourself. Definitely look into things before you invest in them. I think it does have strong, or like very decent potential to be worth several $1,000s by the end of the cycle. But that's Compound. Let's finish this up with XLM, man. I'm on one today, so that's that. Let's see, low to high, 61869 at your 0.5. Not the best looking from a fib perspective. Price perspective isn't too friendly either. I don't like the RSI. It almost looks like you're breaking out of this, right? I think you have. Not almost, but like you are. I think you are. However you want to draw it, Doesn't look good to me. Probably goes lower. It probably does have lower to go. Where is it going to go? That's what we want to know. Probably down to the 786, 886 area if I really had to guess. Maybe you find support just below this low here, around 9 to 10 cents, maybe. I think, honestly, you're probably going to go just below 9 cents, if not just below 8 cents. That's my genuine interpretation. Higher lows still, but lower than this low. That's my genuine interpretation. So that's XLM. I'm not going to go off on a rant on this one, but I do think XLM does have higher to go throughout this cycle as well. It's another one of those, just like Litecoin, that kind of had a double top, but higher lows nonetheless, has remained relevant since it's come out. It's an old coin, older than most coins for sure. And like relative to the crypto space, it's an old coin. It's not like that old, but relative to the crypto space, it is. And I think that it has a lot of potential to grow, man. I mean, 250, 245, something like that for the minimum expectation. 846, maybe. Absolutely possible. I'm not going to run through all the stuff like I did with the other ones, because I'm running out of steam here. But yeah, man, I think that these are absolutely possible numbers to achieve by the end of the cycle. Here you are at 11 cents right now, probably going lower, potentially just below 8 cents, just below 9 cents, and you can see this thing being worth multiple dollars, right? Everybody's all jacked up on Dogecoin that it might break $1, and it's worth about 8 cents right now. This thing could be worth about 8 cents, and it's going to go be worth multiple dollars, right? I think Dogecoin will be worth multiple dollars too by the end of the cycle, but this thing has a lot of potential in its own right. So that's it, guys. If there was a winner out of all of them, Compound probably stands to gain the most, and it looks like it'll probably lose the least amount percentage-wise over the coming weeks. But I don't know. Bitcoin Cash won't really lose that much percentage-wise either. But I don't know, man. I'd probably say Compound's the winner if I really had to say anything. But that was fun, man. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.